Welcome to the ITIL and Service Delivery Lifecycle module. What is ITIL? ITIL is a set of documents used to establish framework for IT service management, also known as ITSM. This is a systematic approach to high-quality IT service delivery. It provides documented best practices for IT service management and provides common language terms with well-defined terms. This helps for communication across projects across the world. ITIL publications are compiled into 5 volumes. These 5 volumes include Service Strategy, Service Design, Service Transition, Service Operation, and Continual Service Improvement. These 5 volumes combine to create the Service Delivery Lifecycle. On this slide, you'll see a graphical representation of the lifecycle. Beginning with strategy, the management then moves to design, transition, operation, and during all of these cycles, there's a continual service improvement cycle happening at the same time. 5 service areas again: strategy, design, transition, operation, and continual improvement. During service strategy, we gather and understand organization objectives and customer needs. This is also known as requirements gathering. In design, we'll take that strategy and create a plan to deliver our business objectives. During service transition, we develop improved capabilities to introduce new services into the supported environments. During service operation, we manage those services in a supported environment. During the continual improvement phase, this achieves services incremental and large-scale improvements. There is a 7-step improvement process of continual improvement. Each phase of the life cycle includes certain processes. On this slide, you will see the processes that are included during each phase of the SDLC. During service strategy, we ask ourselves, what is it that we're going to provide? What is our vision and what is our mission? This is a strategic approach to our project and to our service delivery. In financial management, we ask, can we actually afford it? Do we have the monetary and human resources to achieve our vision and our mission? Demand management is very important to mGov and SmartGov planning. How do we balance supply and demand? Are we prepared to grow either slowly or quickly, depending on our customer needs and the apps that we produce? During service design, we ask ourselves, how are we going to provide the services that we envision? How are we going to build them? How will we test them? And how will we deploy them? Service design and capacity management go hand in hand. Capacity management minimizes the cost while maintaining the same high-level quality of service. All of the things you see in this graphic must balance in order to provide high-quality service design. Service level management is an important function under this phase. The most important aspect of this is the service level agreement, commonly used to define service times, products that are delivered, services that are delivered, and what customers can expect services to be available. It's written clearly and concisely between a vendor and the customer, or it can also be included internally between 2 different service providers within the same entity. It can be service-based or it can be customer-based. To measure the success of a service level agreement, we use KPIs, Key Performance Indicator. These are often used to measure the success of the items that have been included in the SLA. Have services been provided within the timeline that was guaranteed? Has the customer received the services from the vendor that were promised? On this slide, you'll see potential contents of an SLA. These are only a few of the items that you might find within an SLA. None of these parts is more important than another. During service transition, the processes include planning and support, release deployment, asset management, change management, and knowledge management. Service transition can also be called implementation. Although we are not implementing a software or a system, this is the easiest term to relate to other IT functions that are happening at the same time. We set customer expectations and try to minimize risks to the overall operation. When we release and deploy our service into the new environment, we're coordinating across many entities and functions to reduce any performance variation. Change management occurs when we respond and document changing business requirements. And knowledge management is important because documentation is vital to the ongoing success of our operation. No one person should hold all of the information for any function in the organization. Information must be shared across all staff and all processes. During service operation, functions include problem and incident management, event management, request fulfillment, and access management. Problem and incident management aims to prevent problems and resulting incidents. Event management includes informing customers if there are any incidents that are happening currently within our operations. We'll provide information and warnings and updates as required. On this slide, you'll see the 7 steps of the continual improvement process, beginning with what should we measure and what can we measure, noting that these two are not necessarily the same thing. We should measure the things that tell us the most about our business services and if we're providing good, reasonable, effective services to our customers. Beyond what we should measure and what we can measure, we move to data gathering. This pulls all of our raw data from multiple sources. Then we move to process and analyze the data. When we process the data, we organize it and categorize it in order for it to make sense. This data should tell us a story about our operation and how we are performing. When we analyze data, we get the answer to just that. How are we performing? Depending on what we're measuring, we'll be able to determine if we're doing well or if we need to make improvements. Once we analyze the data and have the information we need, we'll present and use that information in order to determine if we need a corrective action. We generally present this information to higher management or the main decision makers within our organization. We then move to decide if we need a corrective action. If we do need corrective action, we create that, we implement that, and then we go back to the beginning of our cycle. The continual improvement happens during all phases, all the time of our operation. On this next slide, you'll see potential pieces of a configuration management system. A configuration management system helps us to see every part of our operation. It includes our hardware and our software, but not just what kind of equipment we're using, but also what's running on each piece of equipment, when the updates occur, how the overall management of all of the parts of our operation exist. For asset and configuration management, managing our assets properly controls costs and facilitates smooth operations by documenting equipment status, required updates, and an overview of the entire IT operations. This provides a logical model of the IT infrastructure and accurate configuration information. Tracking our assets helps us to know exactly where each piece of equipment is at all times. There are multiple service delivery strategies as we talk about the SDLC. In general, we can insource all of our strategies. We can outsource or we can co-source. When we insource our service, we're doing all of the work ourselves. When we outsource, we give all of the work to a third party. If we co-source, that means we will do some of the work internally and a vendor will do some of the work externally. This ends the ITIL module.